Good evening, folks, and welcome to another edition of An Hour with Bob. Do you know what's coming up next week? Actually, today is the 25th of May. In 4 days is my 30th anniversary doing An Hour with Bob and Bob's Big Adventure. And what's more appropriate than having someone to give us a little history lesson? A woman I met recently at an event, and I was impressed by her knowledge of the state of Rhode Island and the way she was throwing the statistics out there, the facts out there. And as you know, if you watch this show over the years, you know how my pet peeve, one of my pet peeves is that they give the Boston Tea Party the recognition for causing or starting the Revolutionary War, when in fact, what do you think made the king more mad? I was going to say something else, but made the king madder than throwing tea overboard into the water in Boston Harbor, or burning one of his best ships to the waterline in Warwick, Gaspee. Well, with us today is the historian, I guess I'm going to call her a historian. She can correct me when she gets on here. But again, I met her, I'm not even going to say where, but we'll talk about it. If she wants to talk about it, she'll talk about it. But Miss Humble, am I going to call you Miss, Mrs., or do you?
Roberta.
Roberta, I was going to ask you, do I get to call you Roberta?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Of course you do.
Roberta Humble?
Mudge Humble.
Mudge Humble.
Yes.
That's an interesting middle name.
Yeah, well, Mudge is my maiden name, and it's an English name.
Yep.
So there were a lot of Mudges from England. They came from Plymstock, England.
So you have some history here.
Yes, and he came over, and he was a granite cutter in Westerly. So I grew up in Westerly.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yes.
And for those of us that are in other parts of Rhode Island that don't know, Westerly was a big granite, and probably still is, right? They still do some
No,
granite
they
cutting,
don't. No, it's not. They still have some granite, but they don't have
I've
much.
seen them,
Bob.
yeah.
But it's the finest blue granite in the world. 70% of the monuments in Gettysburg are Westerly granite monuments.
No kidding, really?
Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
That is amazing.
And a lot of them are in Washington, D.C. They're all around the country. And there's a fine book on Westerly granite that was done by the Westerly Historical Society, Babcock Smith House down there in Westerly. And it's, I always forget, it's not carved in stone, but the title is like that. So if people want to know more about granite, you can Google it, and I'm sure you'll find it. It's an excellent book. They've sold a couple thousand copies of it, which is unusual for a book on granite.
Right,
So,
sure,
yeah.
sure. But it is amazing, and I knew that from years past, having been to Westerly a number of times, unlike most Rhode Islanders that seem to need a passport.
You've
to go
actually
that
made the
far.
trip.
I've made the trip numerous
That's good,
times.
good.
In fact, I have a friend, a guy that you would know down that way, who has done a show like this show for years and stopped it for a number of years. Caswell Cook.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've been down there to run into him, to meet up with him.
Well, he does
a few times.
Misquamicut, and of course he's on the town council too down there.
Right,
so
right.
he's been very busy and invested in Westerly. And he was up until this year, because they swap advisors. He was our advisor from the town council, because the Westerly Armory is a town-owned building, even though we have to provide. We are the renters. We have a 100-year lease, and we have to pay the bills for it pretty much.
Right.
So, but he's been our liaison, yeah, and he's been wonderful.
Now that's right on the main street on the curve.
It's
there,
on Railroad Avenue.
Is it
It's not
Railroad
far
Ave-
from the railroad station, which is now an arts center. Mhm.
Oh, okay.
And near the Knickerbocker, which is now.
I was just going to say that, yeah.
Yeah, which is now a music hall, so to speak.
Yes.
Yeah, which is.
Well,
very
that's where I met the guy that was with the Beatles for a while there, that played there, performed there.
Oh, okay.
A few years back. His name will come
Excellent.
to me.
Well, I'm not. When I'm in Westerly, I'm pretty much at the Armory because I live in Warwick. And so I go down to the Armory at least 2 to 3 times a week. So I'm doing the drive. If anybody needs a ride down there, I could give it to them. But anyhow.
Now, how long have you been in the Armory? At the Armory?
This is my 30th year like you.
No way.
Yes,
And I didn't know the answer to that question. Usually I do,
Yes,
but I didn't
yes.
know that was.
I'm a volunteer. I'm not paid to do this.
Right.
So I go down there and I do this. I'm
Well,
the
same
founder.
thing with me.
Yeah, and it's fun.
Yep.
And he wouldn't give it up for the world. I think it's important. Armories represent sacrifices made for our freedom.
Right.
And a lot of people will go to the breakers before they'd go to an armory. And that's fine. It's good to go to the breakers, but
Right.
it's also good to go to armories.
Exactly. Because there are some cool armories. I used to live in East Greenwich, and the armory in East Greenwich downstairs, they have some revolutionary.
That's the Varna Memorial
Oh
Armory.
my God,
yes.
they have
Yeah.
some history there too.
They had a rifle range. They have 2 cellars, and the second cellar is a rifle range, which I think they can't use right now until it's something about the air. They need a better ventilation system down
Right,
there. You know
right.
how over the years things change. But they have incredible. They're known for their Rhode Island artifacts, the Rhode Island historical
Yes.
artifacts. They have a fabulous collection of those. Each of the armories has different sorts
Right,
of things.
right.
In Westerly, we have a museum in our head house. The armory is divided into 2 parts: the head house, which is the front, and the back
that why they
part
call it the head
is the
house?
drill hall or the drill shed.
Right.
And we have events there. Like, matter of fact, tomorrow night we're having a pitch tournament at our armory, and we'll have breakfast with the Raptors coming up. Audubon is going to bring 3 Raptors, so we'll have
Wow.
probably an owl and a couple of hawks, and
Yep.
I'll have a hot breakfast, and they'll do a presentation too, which will be very nice. Very different sorts of things. We just had member appreciation evening. We honor 4 people. We have a wonderful dinner, and then we have entertainment after dinner. So we had a magician, and it was
Oh, yeah?
wonderful. Yeah.
Now, how often do you do that?
Member appreciation is only once a year.
No, but the events. How
Events
often
are,
do events?
we don't have them all the time every day, and people can go to westerlyarmory.com and click on events and see what we have. So that's simple, and it's easy to remember. Yeah, we rent the drill hall because we use the funds to put back into the armory for both operations and restoration. We
Right.
put about $2 million into the armory to restore it.
Wow.
Yeah. And we need more. We're trying to raise funds now for the crenellation repair. Crenellations are the tip top. You have my book there. See the tip top?
Yeah. Those.
Right. Those are crenellated parapets. Okay, so
Say that fast.
crenellated parapets. Okay. The parapets are the wall, and the crenellations are
On the
on the
side,
wall.
yeah.
So they're crenellated parapets.
Right.
Yeah. So people get extra credit when they say things like that. So,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
remember that. Yeah. Because I was a teacher for 47 years at CCRI.
Sounds
so,
like it.
so,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how'd you end up in Westerly from Warwick?
Well, I was born and raised there. Went to Westerly High
Right,
School.
but I
which-
mean, you ended up in Warwick and you shot
yeah,
back
but
down to
I
Westerly.
taught at CCRI, so I moved up to be nearer CCRI.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's because I did 47 years there. There was no sense going from Westerly to Warwick
Was
every
at
day.
the night campus, right, CCRI?
I had night campus, which is the main campus, yeah.
Right.
The brutalesque architecture building. Okay.
Yeah. Now listen, you have an array of things here, and I remember, well, it wasn't long ago, this was put in front of me at an event. Do you remember that?
Yes,
Do you remember doing that?
yes.
What prompted you to put this in front of me?
Well, I took 24 of them. You got one of them.
Yeah.
And I circulated them around. I wanted people to share it because it's Rhode Island. And you
Really?
want to, I'm very proud of Rhode Island. I've done
You are.
7 Rhode Island books and 7 Rhode Island games. And I do 12 Rhode Island presentations. And I've spoken in all 39 cities and towns. And I've toured the country with Rhode Island presentations because Rhode Island has fabulous things. Fabulous.
Right. And I understand, it's my understanding that Rhode Island has over 200 either locations or historical facts.
I have
I
a
don't
lot
know where
more.
I
We
heard
have,
that.
well, I don't know quite what that is, but we have things that people don't know about, and that's
Right.
why each one of my books and games has different things. And my books are essentially made for fun. They're not high intensity. They're not. I'm not an historian, and
Right.
I'm an English professor.
Right.
Okay. So what I try to
they're
do is
interactive.
put things together that people would appreciate about Rhode Island. And that's why people like the presentations, because they're all PowerPoint, all wonderful pictures and so forth. And they have no idea what we have, and they go out. I've been invited back 9 times to some places because it's not me, it's Rhode Island.
Right.
They like the idea, and they can pound their chest afterwards.
Because I'm a
This
Rhode
is my
Islander,
state.
right? Yeah.
This is my state.
Now, I
I'm
love
proud of
this.
it.
When I opened this up, it says, the Rhode Island not taken. And it has, and did you write all these facts on here?
This is the road not taken, yes. And, it's not just, yeah, they're all different. There are 2 things on each card.
Right.
You might want to read one of them.
I'm going to.
Okay.
Rhode Island game for 2 or more people. And on the back of it, it says, on this one, Iggy's Doughboys or Allie's Donuts.
Okay, and you have to pick, in that game, it's a game, that's the conversational game. This is not a hard game. This is to lead the conversation.
It's not who's right or who's wrong.
Right, there's no
it's
wrong or
your
right to
preference.
this.
Like,
Yes.
I like Iggy's Donuts, or in fact, ironically, I know both of the owners.
Yeah, okay,
I know Matt and I know David.
okay.
Okay,
Well, which do you prefer? Now, I have to guess which one you would prefer, and I'm going to say you prefer Iggy's Doughboys. Am I wrong or right?
You're wrong.
Okay, so in the game,
I
since
like,
I'm
I
wrong,
like
you
Iggy's
keep
Fish
the
and
card.
Chips. I like Iggy's Fish and Chips.
Oh, of course you do. But you get to keep the card, and then you start making a pile of cards. The one with the most
Okay.
cards at the end wins.
Wins.
Yeah, so.
Okay.
Simple.
Little Compton or Westerly. Now, both of those towns, if you're from this part, Rhode Island, and if you're from Providence, East Providence, Pawtucket, you've probably never been to either one of them. You've probably been through Westerly and never been through Little Compton, most people, I would say, in this
Little
part of the state.
Compton and West Greenwich are the most bucolic of all the cities in
Bucolic?
bucolic.
You mean
both.
beautiful? Is that your way of
Yes,
saying
and it has
beautiful?
the lush foliage. And,
Yep,
yes,
yep.
yeah.
Well, they're the least trampled on, or at least Little Compton is.
Well, Westerly is more Connecticut related, and Little
Yes.
Compton is more Massachusetts related.
Exactly. In fact, the only way to get to Little Compton, if in fact they didn't have bridges, you couldn't get to Little Compton
You'd have to go.
without going through Massachusetts,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah. But we love that. I mean, that's
Now,
part
how
of
did
the fun
that
of the
happen?
state.
Do you know? How did that happen? How did it happen? to
I
Little
don't know
Compton
all the
and
history of
Tiverton?
it, but I know Seekonk once belonged to us too.
Right.
So, yeah,
Oh, but actually, Pawtucket used to belong to Seekonk.
and well,
And vice versa.
Slater Mill used to be in North Providence until they changed the city lines.
Oh my God! Now you confused.
But I
the
don't
hell
know a
out
lot
me.
of history. I'm not pretending to be an historian.
I'm
so,
from
yeah.
Pawtucket, so-
I just try to get the things that people have done correctly and put them together so that people can be proud.
Lighthouses: Beaver Tail Light or Connecticut Point Lighthouse.
Oh, okay.
Connecticut, of course, is in Warwick.
I
Beaver
live in
Tail is
Connecticut now, so
You live in?
so,
Yeah.
That's a very dangerous place out there. They usually lose one or two people every
In
year,
Connecticut?
every other year. Yeah, because
The
the way the
sandbars?
tide is. Yeah, they try to go out to where the lighthouse is.
Right.
And then the tide comes in, and it's very strong there. It's very, very strong, and they get caught up in it.
The Riptide.
Yeah, it's just an amazing thing. Yeah, we lost two people last year. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, swimming out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because people come in sometimes from Providence, they don't know how to swim well.
Right.
And they try to save the person who's drowning, and then
And
they
they
drown
lose.
too.
Yeah. That happened with a police officer recently somewhere, not too far away
Yes.
last year.
Very
Sad.
sad, it is.
Sad. He's trying to save somebody. He dies. All right. South County or Newport County? South County would be Westerly's part of South County, right?
Richmond, Exeter,
Exeter, yep.
Hopkinton.
Charlestown.
Hopkinton was named
Charlestown.
for, Charlestown. Hopkinton was named for
Joe Hopkinton. I don't know.
Stephen Hopkins.
Stephen
He's the signer of the Declaration of
Hopkins.
Independence.
How did he get Hopkinton out of Hopkins? I knew who Stephen
Hopkinton
Hopkins
was
is.
named for Stephen Hopkins. He was the signer of the
Oh,
Declaration
I
of
do know
Independence.
that. I do know that.
Do you know that Samuel Ward of Westerly, the high school is officially, Westerly High School is officially Samuel Ward Senior High School.
All right.
Most of the students don't know this. Samuel Ward was a big-time person back then, as much as Roger Williams and the rest of them,
Right.
and later Stephen Hopkins and so on. Samuel Ward was supposed to sign the Declaration of
What
Independence,
happened?
but he got smallpox.
Oh,
And so they sent William Ellery instead.
yeah, they had two. Rhode Island had
Yeah,
two
yeah.
signs of the Declaration, right?
Yeah, Stephen Hopkins and William Ellery. Yeah.
Oh, well, we've had a lot of famous people from Rhode Island, especially during Revolutionary times.
Oh, yeah, yeah, and we were always first or last to do everything.
Yes,
Which makes it, we
we're
look,
first to,
I think I love that.
first to declare our independence, last to sign the 13 colony, last to sign our independence, right?
Right.
We officially declared our independence May 4th,
Yeah.
and we were the last to sign.
It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah.
All right, what else we got? Bishop Hendricken High School versus LaSalle. Well, that's two high schools in Rhode
Those
Island.
are always punching it out.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
kind
they're
of
always
fun.
doing it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. They're both good schools, and we
Exactly,
love them.
definitely
Yeah.
good schools. All right, Route 136 or Route 114. Do you know that I once, when my kids were small, I would take one area of the state of Rhode Island, because Rhode Island's small, and people don't, and you'll like this, because take one section of the state, and we would go to every every state route on that in that area.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so you'd probably have a difficulty stumping me as to the routes in the state of Rhode Island. I shouldn't say that because you'd probably stump me right away. But I probably know every route in the state of Rhode Island. If not every one, I probably know 95% of them.
Excellent.
And I've
Well
been on every single one of them. It's just a matter of remembering every single one of them now.
Well, I do, as you know, 7 books and 7 games on
Right.
Rhode Island, and I have 20 stores in the state carry them. So I have to deliver to those.
Cut it out, and you do this for nothing.
Yeah. And all the profits from the book, I try to get my money back from the production, if possible, and sometimes
Right.
I don't. That doesn't matter. But we sell thousands and thousands of these books and games, and I deliver them, and all the money goes to the Armory. All the profits go to the Westerly Armory.
Wow.
But it's good. It's a good thing to do.
Well, yeah, and you can see
We need it.
what you've done. You can see your product that you've done.
Yeah.
You know, people always say to me that, oh, you must make a lot of money doing this show. I said, I haven't made a dime in 30 years.
There you go. Well, I haven't made a dime at the Armory in 30 years. So
Yeah,
we're
exactly,
we're tied here.
exactly. Look, wait a minute.
I think I've lost money.
Yeah, me too.
But that's okay.
The Quonset hut or the Biltmore Hotel, that's what? What's with that?
Well, it's just, you get to, this is what leads to the conversation, does it
Yep.
not? Yeah. Well, the Biltmore, people up north will love the Biltmore because it has such a history.
Right.
And even during the floods of Providence, there are pictures of it, you know, sort of the first floor or two are underwater there during the hurricanes. And the Quonset hut was amazing, developed in Rhode Island.
And
Do you
by
know,
the Seabees.
Yes. Well, the Seabees, of course, we have a 97-year-old at the Armory who's on our board, and he still does work for us. He was a U.S. Navy Seabee. He was one of the original Seabees from Davisville.
Which started in Rhode Island.
Right,
Seabees,
Davisville, Rhode Island. Yeah, not
Which are-
Quonset, Davisville.
Davisville.
Yeah.
The Seabees are a construction battalion of...
CB stands for Construction Battalion, and Frankie Affrati of North Providence designed the logo for the Seabees. So he was inspirational. He was a very good drawer, and they got him. He was a civilian working for the Navy at the time, and he did the drawings.
Wow, that's pretty cool. All right, Chepachet, I should know this.
Shepherdshay.
Huh?
Shepherdshay. We had a visitor come in.
Shepherdshay.
No, listen. We had a visitor come in, and we were playing this game, and the visitor says, Shepherdshay. And everybody goes, Shepherdshay? What's that?
Yeah, what is that?
Well, he didn't know how to pronounce it.
Oh.
See, he was from New York, so he just
well,
didn't
you can
know.
forgive him
He
then,
thought
right?
it was French.
Shepherdshay versus Wickford Village.
What's the other one?
Wickford.
Wickford. Oh, they're both good. I love both of those.
Do you know how many villages are in Rhode Island? I know there's
think
39
there's
communities.
411, I think.
Are there that many?
Yeah, there's over 400. I don't know whether it's 411. It's right around there. Yeah.
Wow, I never knew that.
Westerly has 17.
Really?
Yeah.
17 villages.
I mean, like Dunn's Corners, Misquamicut,
Right.
Watch Hill, Weekapaug, White Rock.
Quanticook?
No, Quanticook is Charlestown.
Okay,
Yeah.
just checking. just showing you my little knowledge of the area. Down.
Oh, we have Moscow and Wyoming, and
Yeah.
that's just great. The
And-
whole
and
state is great.
Where's there's a manufacturer. I went with when the governor, now governor, was lieutenant governor. We went to the 39 communities, the cities and towns, and Kenyon. We went to a place in Kenyon.
Yes, Kenyon, yes.
Which has a big manufacturing production.
Yes, one of our board members works there in Kenyon.
Really?
Yes, yeah.
And they make the uniforms for the military.
Yeah. Well, Bradford Dyeing Association did the fabric. When the 100-Day War, all we had were the forest BDUs, battle dress uniforms,
Right.
which is the uniform, the camouflage.
Camouflage.
The green. All we had was green.
Yeah, the green.
We needed for Desert Storm. We needed desert
Brown,
ones.
yeah.
Bradford Dyeing Association of Westerly made all the fabric.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah. Another local thing. All right, here we go. We'll give you one more. Cellos versus Greg's. Now, this is interesting.
Those are
for me.
wonderful, both.
I know them both. I know the families. I know now Bob Bacon owns Greg's now, and the Cellos family, forever. I know them.
They're both excellent.
Yep. They've been around a long time.
They have. Cello's does make tapioca pudding from scratch.
Oh, it's funny you say that. I love tapioca pudding.
Me too, Bob.
And
That's
you can't
my
get it
favorite.
anywhere.
No, you can get it sometimes.
Sometimes.
They don't make it all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
In the Warwick place and one of maybe the Providence sometimes
Okay.
on Tuesdays or some damn
I
thing.
know.
Second
It's
Tuesday
like
of the
gold
month.
finding
Yeah.
that.
It's funny you say that because that's my favorite pudding, tapioca pudding.
Well, I love that. Pal's Restaurant, which is gone now.
Oh,
in
it
East
is gone,
Greenwich.
East Greenwich,
Yeah,
down
East
the hill,
Greenwich,
down the
yeah.
bottom of the hill.
They made all their puddings from scratch.
Really?
Yeah. I miss them. I love that dining room with the circular booths. That was great.
Yeah.
Good memories.
I went up speaking of East Greenwich, I went up in the crow's nest at the top of the building.
Yes.
What a beautiful view there. You got a view, you look out and you're looking at Warwick. And in fact, ironically, I was sitting out in front of Main Street Coffee one day, and here comes the Warwick Fire Department, the cops coming right by, and they're driving south. And I'm saying, said to one of the guys, why are they going south?
Because they have to go to the part of Warwick, part of Wilmot, which
To get through East Greenwich to go to
go
Warwick.
to part of Wilmot.
Yeah, to go to Warwick,
Which is Warwick.
which is odd.
Which I love. I just love things like that. It's the best.
And then the Benny's, where the Benny's was, in that plaza,
Yes.
it was actually in 3 towns.
Yes. Yeah. It's just a great state. We couldn't have more fun. I have friends now that are secretaries of state from other states because they had invited me to their state.
Right, sure.
And the secretary from North Dakota, Secretary of State from North Dakota, he keeps emailing. He says, "How come Rhode Island has so much?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, we were founded in 1636, and you were founded in 1842.
Right, big
so
difference.
we had a couple of hundred, years.
Couple hundred
on
years
it.
ahead of you, head start, so to
Yeah,
speak. Yeah.
yeah.
So you've been to how many states? Where have you been? Where was it?
I've been to pretty much all the states, I think, except 2. Yeah, I've been around. I spoke like 5 times in Montana. Montana's my second favorite state after
Really?
Rhode Island. And I really liked Arkansas, believe it or not. Arkansas people ignore these places. They all want to go to Florida or California or something.
Right.
They're really missing out. So
Yep.
they have no idea. Yeah, I loved Arkansas. And I think that, when people travel, if you can't travel much, you've got a lot in Rhode Island to see, as we've already mentioned.
Right.
But there's a lot in the middle of the country that people miss.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love visiting different states and
too.
seeing what they have to offer. I went to Niles, Michigan one time because I did a show called Bob's Big Adventure, where I travel around not
Right.
only different states but different countries. And I went to Niles, Michigan to go to the train station there, train depot, because that was where they shot the movie Midnight. Was it Midnight Run? What's the one with Charles Grodin was in? Was it Midnight Run, I think. Yeah,
Okay.
they were bringing him from California, from New York to California. He was the CPA or the accountant for the mob, and the federal agent was bringing him across country, but he wouldn't fly, so they drove him across country. Pretty interesting. Movie.
Fascinating.
It was a funny movie. It was a good movie, but they stopped most of it, or much of it, was filmed in the train station in Niles, Michigan, which is the second or third oldest in the Midwest, or in the middle of the country.
All right.
It's a pretty interesting place. But again, you go to different parts of the country. I've traveled the whole West Coast. I went from Mexico to Canada just for kicks one time. I flew to California, drove down to Mexico with a rental car, went to Tijuana for the day, and then I drove 18 days. I drove all the way up to Canada. And not just on the road, get off the road and went into different towns and cowboy towns and railroad towns and in the Delta region of California.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, this
And
country
it's fun
has
to
a,
stop at the little restaurants. I like the diners and all that. They're my favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we did with the Lieutenant Governor, get back to the Lieutenant Governor, now Governor McKee, we hit 39 diners in Rhode Island.
Did you?
Yeah. And there was only
The
one
diner
town that
state
didn't
is
have a
New-
diner.
Well, what town?
One town did not have a diner.
Who didn't have a diner?
West Greenwich.
Yeah, that would. Although they come close to that because they have. No, that's officially in Exeter, the middle of nowhere.
I know you're
diner
going to
is in
say
Exeter.
that. Yeah, that's not in.
That's in Exeter.
Exeter, yeah.
I love that. That's one of my favorites.
That's one of my favorites too. When I go there, when we went there, when I went there with him, we ate, and I said, "Can I get an order of meatloaf to go?" I mean, they have the blue plate specials. They have all kinds of great food.
They
Very
do.
inexpensive. They give you a lot of food, and it's good.
And the choices are incredible.
Exactly.
And right next door is the next to nowhere ice creamery.
Yeah.
So that's is that
And that's right on Route 3.
3, the old 3? Because having lived in Westerly, when we went to Massachusetts to visit my mother's relatives because she was from Massachusetts.
Right.
We had to go Route 3 because 95 wasn't built.
Oh, well, Route 3 was the main thoroughfare going from Westerly.
Yeah, and I can remember getting up around Cranston, and I remember the Maryland fried chicken sign, and I knew we were at least halfway there. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah, funny. That's gone now, too. Yeah, anyhow.
Because a lot of people think Route 1 and Route 1A were the main routes, but not from Westerly, weren't they?
No, 3 was speedier than 1. 1
Right.
is stop and go.
More scenic.
Yeah, much more so. Yeah,
Right,
it
right.
is, yeah.
No, I like Westerly. I really like Westerly. Even the Westerly Parade, which goes into Connecticut and then back.
Well, the Columbus Day Parade is
Yeah.
the big one down there, as you
Right,
know. So
right.
yeah, because there were a lot of Italians in Westerly, and a lot of them came as granite cutters. The
Makes
Swedes
sense.
came, the English came, the Scottish came, the Italians came, and they were all good granite cutters. And some of them, of course, were granite, not just cutters, but they did the artistic work. And in that cemetery down there, Riverbend Cemetery, it's one of the finest cemeteries in the nation in terms of the beautiful mausoleums and so forth. They're all granite, like the Kaduri Mausoleum. You know, the mausoleums are the little houses for
yeah.
I'm just saying this for audience. And they would put the coffins inside. The Kaduri Mausoleum is all granite, and on the front steps, it has steps going up. There are lions lying with their paws
right,
like
right,
that.
exactly, yeah.
It's beautiful, all carved, yeah. So.
I was amazed at how much granite there is down there. And Cumberland has granite too, but not like Westerly.
Yeah, no, it's different. Westerly's blue granite is the finest, yes, very,
Yeah.
very finest, yeah. So.
Now, you got into making these games
Books,
like this
yeah.
one, which I love.
Okay.
But you also have done
Well,
a
yeah.
numerous.
You want me to show you one? Or?
Yeah,
Okay.
please.
All right, let's take Road Test. This is my very first game, and I only made...
Road Test, Rhode
Road
Island.
Test.
It's a road test of Rhode Island, I assume.
Well, it's just, everything is Rhode, R-H-O-D-E. You know how that
Yes,
goes.
yeah.
Okay. Now, this one has, I'll give you a couple of these.
Go ahead.
You can
Make
have
me look
those.
bad.
At the top is the category.
Okay.
What's your category? Rhode Island what?
Colleges.
Colleges, okay. Now you read, if I'm your opponent, you read to me the top clue, just the top clue. What's the top clue?
Classrooms and Gilded Age buildings.
Ooh. Now see, I'm going
It
to
has
guess.
a 4. What does that mean? The 4 after.
You get 4 points
Really?
if you get it on that one clue.
Well, that's pretty
3
tough
points
anyway.
if you have to get 2 clues.
Classrooms and
Well,
Gilded
okay.
Age
Yeah.
buildings.
Well, I know what that is.
Okay, wait a minute.
Because I wrote the game.
All right, yeah, you wrote the game. So I got to guess that it's like real old buildings in Rhode Island.
Gilded Age, yeah.
So Gilded Age would be like Brown University. Is that what you're thinking? Is that the way, that isn't the way you're thinking.
No.
Gilded Age
Now,
buildings.
where do you go to see Gilded Age houses in Rhode
Oh,
Island?
Newport.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Salve.
Salve. Okay. Now, what's the second clue for the Salve?
Operated by the Sisters of Mercy.
Yeah. That's who operates Salve.
Salve.
So these are all Salve clues. And at the bottom of the card, it says the answer. Okay.
Salve.
Pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
Try
very
another
good.
one.
All right.
Okay, what's the topic?
Rhode Island roads and routes.
Oh,
Now,
dear.
This is mine.
Okay, this is a good one. Okay, first clue.
Past Kingston and URI. It's 138.
Okay.
Right?
Right. But
138.
people up north aren't going to know
No,
that.
exactly. Now, by the way, folks, I'm covering the thing, so I don't know the answer. I'm not seeing the answer.
Okay.
Pawtucket, Rhode Island parks and beaches in Westerly, Musquamacut.
Okay.
You know what I consider the best beach in Rhode Island, or certainly one of the best,
What?
and nobody ever mentions it, Blue Shutters.
Yes, I know Blue Shutters.
That is a beautiful,
Charlestown.
beautiful beach, yeah.
Yes,
That
beautiful.
is a gorgeous beach.
Yeah.
And Musquamacut is huge, and it's absolutely spectacular, but nobody ever thinks of Blue Shutters Beach.
Yeah.
All right.
Just as well. So.
A favorite of Connecticut, too, is Musquamacut. Swimming and picnicking and music festivals. Of course, we discussed
Okay, let me
that.
try one on you here.
Okay, good.
Okay, the topic is Rhode Island cities and towns, so it's either going to be a city or a town.
Yep.
Okay, on Cononicut Island.
On Cononicut Island.
Cononicut Island. Yeah.
Which is Newport, Middletown, and
No.
Cononicut. Oh,
Cononicut.
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 Cononicut Island. Is that the?
Let me give you another
No,
clue.
no, I know what it is. I
Uh-huh.
just can't think of the name of it.
Begins with J. Begins with
it's-
J.
It's Jamestown. Yeah.
Jamestown.
Yeah.
Jamestown is the only town on Cononican Island.
Right.
So, yeah. The second clue
I
was
don't know
Old
why I
and New
couldn't think. My
Bridges.
son lives on Jamestown. I couldn't even think of it.
All right. Well, you're nervous, so we got to give you another one here. Okay. Topic is Rhode Island buildings. Okay. Now
Okay.
this is my baby. Okay. So, in Westerly and built in 1901.
The Armory!
Yes, the Westerly Armory. Okay. Let's try this one. Here's one for you. Rhode Island geography. Okay.
Rhode Island geography.
First clue, a Providence High Point.
Oh, that's got to be Prospect Park.
Getting close. No, it isn't yet. Second clue, location of the State House.
Smith Street.
Smith Hill.
Smith Hill.
Smith Hill, yeah, you got it. Okay, pretty good. Oh, you'll like this one too.
You know where Prospect Park is?
I'm sorry?
Prospect Park, you know where that is?
Yes. Yeah, it's
For
right.
those that don't know where that is, Prospect Park is where they have the statue and
Ro-
overlooks the city. A statue of
Roger
Roger Williams
Williams,
overlooking the city with his hand up.
They do a good job with that too. Okay, Rhode Island businesses is your topic. First clue, Providence Eatery.
Providence Eatery. And the clue is what? What is it? I mean, what
The
is
topic is Rhode Island businesses.
it? Rhode Island business.
Providence Eatery. Okay, second clue, originally a horse-drawn wagon.
Oh, come on. Hot dogs.
Hey.
Haven Brothers.
There we go. Okay. Anyhow, that's how road tests go.
That's great.
All right, can I
I
show
love
you?
that. Go
Let
ahead.
me show you another one.
Now, where can they get this?
Oh,
Don't say the price,
they're in
but where can
20
they get it?
stores in the state. If they want to see the list of stores, they can go to westerlyarmory.com and click on Rhode Books and Games. And it has the list of stores. You can buy them online too,
Right.
but it's cheaper to buy them in the stores. You don't have to pay for the postage and all that sort of thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
Yeah. So it'll have the list. Let's take. Let's see. I think I am here. Wait a minute. Let's do road map. I showed you this before.
Roadmap.
Okay, road map comes in this neat little box. People love these boxes. I have 3 games in this kind of box. The instructions are on
Oh,
the back.
yeah. That's the one, the puzzle.
Yeah. You get two
Two puzzles, and they're different
jigsaw
color.
puzzles of Rhode Island.
Two.
And you get 100 cards with 2 questions each on them. Okay, Bob.
All right, so you
want
asked
to try
me-
a couple of those?
Sure.
Okay.
Now I'm asking you the questions.
Well,
This is kind of unfair. You know all the answers.
no, I don't always. So it's hard to remember
The
everything.
Milk Can, formerly an ice cream shop, is located Eddie Dowling Highway in what city or town?
Smithfield.
Yeah.
By the way,
No.
North Smithfield.
North Smithfield.
Sorry. No, I think people should try to save the milk can. I'm big on saving the milk can.
That big jug.
If
that
I
milk
had the
can?
money, I would move it to Westerly.
Oh, the one on 146 you're talking about.
Yeah.
They moved that years ago.
Yes,
they
they
moved
did.
it across the highway.
They did.
Somebody intended on turning it into an ice
But they
cream
ran
thing.
into, I think, sewer and water problems.
Really?
So, yeah. And it's expensive once you get into those.
Oh, absolutely. Especially anything historical, because then you can't change things. You can't do
Yes.
nothing. All right, the historic stadium. I know the answer to this. The historic stadium theater is located in what town?
Woonsocket.
Not Woonsocket.
Woonsocket, I tell you, they've done a beautiful job with the stadium theater. If people haven't
Yes.
been there, and they have all kinds of events.
Yes.
And on that street, they also have a couple of antique shops. They have a wonderful African women's shop, although I think she carries some men's clothes, women's shop.
Yep.
All the stuff comes in from Africa. And it's beautifully displayed. It's one of the most beautiful stores I've ever been in.
Really?
Now, I'm kind of waspy in my taste. I wear plain clothes and that sort of
Right.
thing. But I've gone in there and
Waspy, huh?
I go in and she welcome you feel welcome.
Right.
I've bought a lot of things for friends. I mean, people should go up and see that shop. It is just beautiful.
right on Main
Main
Street?
Street.
Right on Main
Just
Street.
down. You walk up and down, you'll see some antique shops. You'll see that shop. You'll see
Yeah.
some others.
And you
Woonsocket
see
is-
John Chan's place, too. Chan's in
Yes,
Woonsocket.
Chance, yes.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think of the name. I can't think of the name. There's a restaurant across that looks like a castle. And
Oh.
what's the name of that?
Yeah, oh, in fact, if you go inside there,
Yes.
they have real suits of armor on
Yes,
the
they
second
do.
and third floor.
Up on the second floor,
Yeah,
they've got that.
yeah.
Yeah, we were up there. So if you have a
Begins with
banquet.
C. Begins with a C.
I can't think of the name of it, but I don't have that in any of my games, but I'm planning on putting that in at some point, because that's
They
a
were
real
famous for their
find.
steaks back in the day. I don't know what they're, I had fish and chips there last winter, during the winter.
But I mean, I was amazed, because the person in the African shop told us, we said, what about lunch? And she said, well, go over there, you'll love it over there. And we did. We did.
Very good.
It's good to discover things.
Oh, absolutely.
And of course, Woonsocket has the Museum of Work and Culture, which
Right.
is amazing.
Right.
People don't go to Woonsocket often enough, as far as I'm concerned. I think that you've got to discover it.
We got ye old fish and chips too
Yes.
in Woonsocket. And they have wieners in Woonsocket.
I love Woonsocket. Woonsocket during the war they had that rubber factory which burned down,
Right,
unfortunately,
right.
and they made all
They made
the
a lot of-
rubber tanks for the Ghost Army. and
Right,
that sort
exactly.
of thing.
People don't even understand that. The Ghost Army was tanks made of rubber that they filled with air, and to fool the German army into believing that the whole battalion of tanks were heading their way.
Yeah, they'd put a couple hundred tanks on the ground, and of course, these days you couldn't get away with it. But back then, if somebody's flying over, they'd be horrified to see
Right.
100, 200 tanks.
Yeah.
were
So
coming against them.
what they
Yeah.
hoped would happen, and I guess did happen, the Germans moved their tanks over towards them to fight with them, and they were fighting against rubber
I know.
balloons, giant, in essence, rubber balloons.
Woonsocket did a lot during the war. We have a cannon. It's actually when I call it, it's officially a cannon, but it's on a tripod.
Yeah.
And we have that inside in the museum. It was made in Woonsocket, Rhode Island, by Taft Pierce Manufacturing. It's a wonderful thing. It's an anti-aircraft gun, and they made those in Woonsocket.
Oh,
too.
really?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, they also have a nice armory in Woonsocket.
Yes, they do. It was just bought too. 'Cause
Really?
The guy called me about. He wanted to know. He bought the Pawtucket Armory, and then he called me and he said, "What do you think of Woonsocket?" I said, "Well, that's in pretty bad shape." And I said, "You should go look at it. They'll let you in, I'm sure." And he did, and he bought it. Now he's hoping to have events there. I had kind of thought that he might make it into condos. For senior condos.
Oh, really?
That was my goal, because they don't have a lot of parking available. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And their drill hall is much bigger than Westerly's, although it looks a lot like Westerly's, designed by the same architect, William R. Walker. But they could have put like a hairdressing salon downstairs and a barber shop and things like that, and then had living quarters for seniors. I think that would have been.
Oh, it's all open
because
above
it wouldn't call for as many cars. You
Right,
have an event
right,
there.
right.
It's a little big. Yeah.
Yeah. There's nowhere to park.
Yeah. So that's that. So anyhow, those are some of those. Let me show you. Can I show? I just want to show you Secret.
Oh, wait a minute.
What, oh,
Before
you wanna-
I got
okay.
one more for you. Which is the largest and the smallest towns in South County?
All right.
The largest and the smallest towns in South County.
All right. Are you guessing?
Oh, I know the answer.
All right. Well, tell us.
New Shoreham, which is Block Island, and Exeter.
Very good. Exeter's very. Coventry is the largest town in the state.
By square miles, yes.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it is.
Coventry
You
is
know
lovely.
what Coventry has? And again, getting back to Dan McKee, we went around to farms in the state, 39 farms. We actually did 62 farms. And we found that in Coventry, there's a 2,800 acre farm that's devoted to cranberries.
Yes.
And they're tied in with Ocean Spray.
Yes. Oceans. Yes. That's
It's
amazing.
a family, and the Green family, who goes back to the Pilgrims. The family
Yes.
goes back to the Pilgrim days. And now most of the members are women. I think there's only one guy left, and they're all women. They killed off the guys.
Stop it. You're fresh. All right. I want you to take a look at. See this little box here? You can
What is
hold
this?
the box.
Let's not mix this up.
Give me those. I'll put those away.
Now,
Okay.
by the way,
This
when you
is-
guess one right, you get a piece,
piece
of the puzzle.
puzzle.
And whoever
That's for roadmap.
that's roadmap. Whoever ends up with the finished product wins the game.
Okay, now Secret is not a game. Secret is 58 places that most people don't know in Rhode Island.
Okay.
And so you'll find, the top card, you'll find a picture
Yeah.
and the name, and on the back, a little info.
Okay.
And hopefully, and people use this for touring Rhode Island.
Oh, so what am I supposed to do?
Just take a look at a couple of them, see what you, do you know Hearthside House?
Hot side, what is it?
Yeah.
Hot side, yes, I do.
Yeah, up
I
in
do know
Lincoln.
where this is, up near
In
Lincoln Woods, right near Lincoln Woods, right?
Kathy does a beautiful job.
Right on, what is it called, Great Road? Right around the corner.
Breakneck Hill Road.
Yeah,
Yes.
right around the corner from Great Road,
Yeah.
yes. Breakneck
It's
Hill Road.
amazing, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
What else we got? Rhode Island monuments and Red Monument.
The Rhode Island
Rhode
Red
Island
Monument.
Red Monument. Yeah, I know where this is too.
Yeah, it's in Adamsville and Little Compton.
I know where this is already. I can see where this is. Yep, I know this one. This is the windmill, the old-fashioned windmill.
The Sherman
in
Windmill
Middletown.
over in, yeah, officially in
Middletown.
Middletown, but right on the cusp of Portsmouth.
Oh.
Yeah.
The Seabees and
Oh, we had
North
that, the
Kingstown.
CB,
We
yes, we
talked
did.
about that.
Yes, yeah.
Now, this was when they did they had that promotion with the potato heads. And
Yeah.
they had, that's what this reminds me of. This wasn't a potato head, but they had all the potato heads around the state, all over the state. And I went in search of all the potato heads. And every community, all 39 communities had a potato head back
Oh,
in
they
the
had
day.
a tough time with that.
Yeah, that was Bob Billington's doing.
All right. Well, I thought it was a lot of fun.
Oh, I did, too.
Until the tourist potato seemed to cause issues.
Oh.
All right, let's not get
Black,
into that. Yes.
blacksmith?
He was tan. No, he was just tan. He was a tan tourist.
A tan
And
tourist.
people thought they were making fun of black people, but they weren't. It was a tanned tourist. So, yeah, because they would never make fun. I
Right.
just don't understand that. So anyhow,
Oh, people are too
yeah.
touchy about certain things.
All right. Yeah.
What do you got?
This book compares Rhode Island to the other 49 states.
Really?
And people love it. I do it as a presentation, too.
And this is by
with
you.
slides.
This you
they're all-
are the author.
Well, I'm the author.
Little Rhody
All of these.
and the other 49.
Yeah.
All right, Little Rhody and the other 49. What do we got here?
You'll see one state on the left. Wait a minute. That's the beginning of it. It starts with a
Well,
little bit of
don't you start at the
quirkiness.
beginning?
Well, you could. You
Or you want
could.
to start at the end?
Well,
Go
what
ahead.
it
Give-
does
give me
is
where you want me to
it
start.
talks about quirky things at the beginning in the first 5 pages, and then
Right.
it goes to Alaska, Rhode Island, Arizona, Rhode Island, and so on.
Okay, well-
Arkansas, Rhode Island,
Wait a minute.
California, Rhode Island, and so on.
You
Well, you
beat
don't.
me here. You beat me here.
I know. Well, you can pick your state.
Let's go start at the beginning. Alaska. Oh, wait, we got Alabama.
Yeah.
It's home to the Air War College and famous statue of Boll Weevil in Huntsville. I've been to Huntsville, Alabama, actually.
I've been to the War College.
Yeah? I've been to where they train the
I've
missile.
been
That's
to
where they
3
did
war
the missiles
colleges,
there.
so I've had training at them. So that's been fun.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool, good for you. Huntsville, Alabama, workers built the first rocket. And I do know that. In fact, when you drive into the city, they have the rocket.
Well, it's the rocket capital of the nation.
Exactly. People don't realize that. And proportion to size, they have the most engineers in any place in the country.
They're amazing.
It's the rocket capital of the nation. It's known for its programs and the space shuttle and stuff like that. And we have Raytheon.
Yeah.
And on
And then on the Rhode Island side,
on the Rhode Island side, we have, of course, Slater Mill and the first cotton mill in the United States. Began the Industrial Revolution.
we did.
It was started by good old
Sam Slater.
Samuel Slater. All right, Alaska.
Well, take one further in because they're
Oh.
kind of fun. Let's see. Well, you've got Colorado. Take Colorado. It's home to the Air Force Academy.
Right. With more microbreweries per capita than any other state, but I think that's beaten by Pawtucket now. I think Pawtucket has
No,
like
I think
6 or 8.
I think Colorado has
No,
more
I know.
microbrewers. I'm sorry.
Well, and it's home to Coors Beer.
Yes,
I
yes.
remember when Coors Beer, you couldn't get it this side of the Mississippi.
Yeah.
You remember that?
No,
I owned a pub at the time.
I don't drink beer, so I don't know.
I don't either, but I owned a pub in the 80s, and
Did
you
you?
couldn't buy Coors Beer
No kidding.
this side of the Mississippi.
Wow.
Unless you had somebody bring it to you.
Okay.
And then they opened up the nation to Coors Beer back in the middle 80s.
It's pretty good.
Pikes Peak, which is the inspiration to Bates, America the Beautiful.
America the Beautiful. Yeah, that's where they created that song.
And this I knew too.
Yes.
This I knew too. Rhode Island's contribution is, continue on the subject of patriotic music, the song, I'm a Yankee Doodle Dandy, and You're a Grand Old Flag were written by Rhode Islander George M. Cohan. What city was he from?
Jeez, wasn't he? What was? I don't know. Providence.
Pawtucket, I think.
Was he from Pawtucket?
Pawtucket or Providence, one or the other.
I thought he was from. Well, I don't remember exactly.
Pawtucket. All right. Next door neighbor, Connecticut, is home to the Ivy League, Yale University, and the U.S. Coast Guard Academy. In 1898, Connecticut's issued the first car insurance in Hartford, of course, and was also the first state to issue permanent license plates. Rhode Island, on the other hand, is home to the Ivy League Brown University. And it is Rhode Island that was the first to jail a speedster and a second-time offender who was going all of 20 miles an hour. Ironically, Rhode Island State Police have been voted the best-dressed police officers. I remember when they were on the David Letterman show.
Me too.
Yep. And it says it here, too. Now, you didn't see that when I said it. Like brothers, Rhode Island and Connecticut work on nuclear submarines together because we have Groton. And
Westerly Pawcatuck people.
Yep.
Pawcatuck being in Connecticut.
Yeah, Connecticut, okay. Right over the board.
Yeah, they are the people who built the Nautilus, USS Nautilus, essentially. Most of the people were from Westerly Pawcatuck.
Really?
The chief project engineer of the USS Nautilus was Henry Nardone of Westerly. He was a graduate of the University of Rhode Island, and he was the chief project engineer on the Nautilus.
Well, that's impressive.
Yeah, that is.
Not somebody from Yale or Harvard or something like that. A guy from URI?
Yeah, he was a URI guy. Yeah. He took some classes at Yale later. But he did that, and he took some classes at MIT later, too. But, yeah, he was a URI guy, so, yeah.
Remember the son of Sam, the guy that was terrorizing New York back in the... Yeah. Well, part of the reason he was caught was because of the forensic lab in URI.
Yeah. No, the crime lab there is incredible.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Actually, their whole engineering thing now, if people haven't been down, that's another tour. Go to the URI campus. You really want to see a campus that is developed. It's the engineering thing, the pharmacy. They're known for their sciences particularly. And of course, you can go to the Narragansett Bay campus and see the oceanography.
The oceanography,
and so forth.
yes.
So all of it's world class. So it's absolutely unbelievable.
Now, this book, again, is Little Rhody and the Other 49. You get a little cool now in here. All right, what else we got? One more while you're looking at that. Oh, here's another thing, and I had this guy on the show before. I don't know if it's the same guy, but the polo down in Glen, was it Glen?
Yeah, Portsmouth, Glen Farm.
Glen Farm in Portsmouth. Location of the first polo games played in the United States and site of the first automobile parade in the nation, complete with autos decorated with flowers and birds. Polo is played today at Glen Farms in Portsmouth, yes. And Kentucky is home. What they manufacture, what do they manufacture in there? What kind of car do they manufacture in Kentucky?
Corvettes.
That's right, the Corvette.
I had a Corvette for 20 years.
You did?
Oh, yeah. I had muscle cars, too. I had Oldsmobile 442s and
Camaros. I had GTOs.
Oh,
I like
wanted
the
GTO.
GTOs.
But I had the 442, which was equal, if not better.
They were fast. They were muscle cars. Yeah, they were muscle cars.
They were good, yeah. They
now,
were good.
I 442, four barrel carburetors, 442, 4-speed, and
dual exhaust.
Dual exhaust, 442.
Yeah, and I had a 455 engine.
Oh, yeah. Wow. I had the original 1964 GTO, the year it came out, which was a converted Tempest in essence, right? The middle-sized car, convertible I had. And it was the song Little GTO. Mm-hmm. They only made that motor for 2 years. That was a 389, 3 deuces and a 4-speed and a 389. Yeah. And then 65 and 66, and then they went to the 400. But I, at the same time, owned a 64 convertible, 66 convertible, and a 68 convertible. Wow. And I would come out of my house and go to I went to Rhode Williams University, and I decide every morning which car am I going to take? My blue convertible 64, my white 66, or my yellow 68.
Wonderful. They're wonderful cars. Have you seen them on TV go for auction now?
Oh, God, ridiculous money.
My 442 went for $150,000.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought, wow.
If we only knew.
Yeah.
Huh?
And my girlfriend had a '67 Camaro convertible.
nice.
Those were
rare.
Yeah, those are rare. So,
car.
yeah.
They were smaller, the 67 Camaro.
So anyhow, what have we got for time left? Could I read a paragraph or
Go
two?
for it. Go
All
for
right,
it.
let me just read this to you because I think people will be interested in this, what we were first in. We have the First Baptist Church, the First Jewish Synagogue, and the first Quaker meeting house in the
Okay,
nation.
stop there.
Yeah.
I know the Jewish synagogue was in Newport.
Yeah.
The Baptist church was in Providence.
Yeah.
And what was the third
The
one?
Quaker Meeting House. It's right across the street from the tavern.
Oh, in Newport?
Yeah.
The White...
White Horse Tavern.
White Horse Tavern,
Right,
yeah.
right. Look, yeah. So we were first in the nation in almost all sports. First polo games, first lawn tennis championship, first open golf tournament, first automobile race on an oval track, beginning of NASCAR, first roller skating rink, first baseball world champions.
Where was that roller skating rink? In Warwick?
No, it was actually in Providence. Okay. First baseball. Well, let me finish this one now. First baseball world champions. First of the original basketball NBA franchises and home of the fast break in basketball. First football team to host an NFL game. And on top of this, we had the first automobile driver jailed for speeding. We had the first standing army in the colonies and the first commander-in-chief of the U.S. Navy, as well as the first black regiment to fight against the British.
Wow. Wow, that's an impressive list.
It is. We had the first law abolishing slavery in 1652.
In Rhode Island.
But we didn't enact it.
Well, that was our MO.
Later. But yeah, it's interesting how there's always a pull and push on that
Right,
sort
right.
of thing as you go through the years. Well, we had lots of good women things. First woman state attorney general, the first woman newspaper editor.
First woman state attorney general was Arlene Violet.
Arlene Violet. And the first woman newspaper editor was Ann Smith Franklin of the Newport Mercury, which still runs. The first strike in the nation with women participants, and the first woman to establish a town in America.
Was where?
Portsmouth.
That was a woman's town?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, when you say the first strike, what was that? What strike was that?
I don't know the name of the strike. I don't know.
I thought Rhode Island, and in fact Pawtucket, Rhode Island, where I'm from, I thought they had the first teacher strike in the country.
They may have. I don't know that. I'm not good with strikes. Okay. I was a teacher.
Do you remember Narragansett Racetrack?
Yes. There's a lot that went on there besides, horses and
that
sort of
Seabiscuit
thing.
movie was partly based on
I know.
there.
Yeah, how about colleges? We had the first college in the nation open to students of all religions. That's Brown University, founded in Warren, Rhode Island, at a church in Warren.
Wait a minute. Brown was
Founded in Warren. Yeah, if you go, the main street in Warren.
Yeah.
There's a church
Child
there as you're
Street,
going
Main
in,
Street.
And it's on your right as you're going in.
Yes.
Okay. They were founded there. There's a whole plaque on that church,
Really?
too. You can
It's
see
just right
that.
on the street. The church is right on the corner there.
Yeah.
In fact, across the street there's some kind of a knick-knack place.
Right,
or
the gift shop.
Yeah,
That strange little place there. Okay, they sell my stuff. So.
Oh, I'm sure.
Okay, so actually there are 4 places in Warren that sell my things. The books
Really?
and the games, yeah. They're very good. Delector's Pharmacy, the oldest pharmacy in Rhode Island, was 1869. They just changed it 3 years ago from a pharmacy. He's just now, because he's older, he changed it. They're just doing cabinets and that sort of thing.
Cabinets?
Coffee cabinets.
Oh, I thought you
That
were...
kind of cabinet,
Yeah, I
yeah,
thought you were talking about building a cabinet.
No.
No, I know. Got fraps versus
But
cabinets.
if you haven't been to Delector's Pharmacy, just to see the pharmacy, because they left all the old artifacts
And that's in
there.
Warren?
Yeah, on the main street.
Right on Main Street,
Yeah.
left or right?
Left. is
Going
right.
south.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
on the
I'm
left.
not good with direction, but you pass that weird gift shop and the church,
Right.
and they're on the right. Lecter's on the left, just a little further up.
Okay.
So you got to go see then They make the best coffee cabinets in the state because they make their own syrup.
I was a soda jerk when I was in high school.
Were you?
Yeah.
All right.
Then I became just a regular one. After.
All right. Okay, well, we had the first college to offer a culinary arts degree.
Oh, come on, Johnson & Wales.
Johnson & Wales. That's impressive.
I remember that. That was, who was that started by?
Socrates Einenog was
Two
involved in that.
women were involved. I thought two.
But I had a friend, he died a few years ago. Socrates Einenog did a good job with that. He was one of the main 3.
That was a junior college, started as a junior college.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
My brother went there.
So was Roger Williams.
I know.
Yeah.
I was a first or second graduating class out of the 4-year school.
Ah,
1971.
excellent. Now, here's one. The college with the first program in the nation to train students in marine and environmental policy.
Oh, wait a minute. now.
Marine and environmental
Well,
policy.
you would think, I think it's Roger Williams. No?
It's URI.
It's URI, yeah. But for some reason, Roger Williams has a big marine course right now, you know.
Yes, yeah. But of course, URI has the whole School of Oceanography.
Right. Yeah, I know that. I know that. And they have the
And they're
Ballard there.
always rated in the top
right?
2 or
They have
3 in the nation, yeah.
Is it Ballard? Is that his name?
Ballard.
Ballard.
Robert Ballard.
Ballard.
Yeah.
Ballard.
Yeah.
Ballard.
He discovered the Titanic, and he discovered a number of things, and he's been doing some work in the Black Sea. I don't know whether he's doing that now. Not a good place to be right now.
No.
But yeah, we were the only state to have 5 capitals at one time with a rotating legislature.
5 capitals.
Yeah.
I know
Can you name them?
Newport, Providence,
Newport, Providence,
Bristol,
Bristol, Kent County,
Kent County, East Greenwich,
East Greenwich, South County,
Westerly.
no,
No?
South Kingstown.
Oh, okay.
And it's not South Kingston, it's South Kingstown.
Yeah, I know.
Kingston is in South Kingstown.
Right.
The tons are in the towns.
Tongues are in the town.
Yeah. Kingston is in South Kingstown.
Right. Kingstown.
It's I was in North Kingstown Rotary Club, and you had to pay $1 if you said North Kingston.
North Kingston. North Kingston is where URI is.
South Kingstown is where URI
South
is.
Kingston.
South Kingstown.
South Kingston.
South Kingstown. South Kingstown is where URI is. It's in Kingston, which is in South Kingstown. Crazy.
Is Kingston the village? Is that what it is?
Kingston is a village. Yes, it is.
In Kingstown.
Yeah.
Kingston's a village in Kingstown.
In South Kingstown, yes.
South Kingstown.
Because we have a North Kingstown, too.
Right, of course.
We do. So,
North Kingstown.
what else have we got? We have, of course, the largest bug, Nibbles Woodaway.
That is on the highway.
The
in
big blue
Providence,
bug,
big
which
blue
people,
bug.
yes. And we have the only monument in the United States or in the world for chicken breed, the Rhode Island Red, which is known all over the world. The monument is over in Adamsville, which is part of Little Compton.
Right.
Another reason you should go over there. What do we have? We had the first diner. It was actually a horse-drawn wagon.
Well, there's an argument over that, where the first diner was.
Yeah,
Some people say it's Fall River, some people say it's Providence.
It was Providence. It was this Walter Scott, which sounds like the guy who wrote novels from Scotland, but he's had the same name. He's not the same person. He had a horse-drawn wagon over by the Providence Journal, and he would bring lunch and that sort of thing.
Yeah, on Fountain Street.
Yeah. We had the first water-powered spinning mill, as you know, cotton spinning mill, and the first mill village. And we had first candle factory,
Now, wait a minute. It's the first
which burned down.
The Mill Village, first of all, the Mill Village, was that in Pawtucket or was that the one in West Warwick?
No, it's
Where was it?
north.
Where?
Yeah, north.
Woonsocket?
No. First mill village.
First. Cumberland.
No,
There was a Mill Village in Cumberland.
no.
Where?
Well, I'll let you guess on that for a minute. Okay. We had the first steam automobile.
Really?
We had the first motion picture machine and the first silver spoons. We also had the first apple orchards planted in the nation, up in Cumberland.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that Phantom Farm?
No, I don't. No, over the years, this is a long
that's
time
true.
ago. So
Well, you know what? You've done an hour with Bob. You know that, right?
Yes.